another Salesforce and Trailhead tutorial with myself, Jonathan Fox, and today I'm going to show you how to make a real simple Lightning component using the Aura framework to create a list of account records, like you can see here. So this list of account records is just showing their account name at the moment, but as you can imagine, you would be able to display whatever information you want on the account or whatever type of record you want for that instance. And you would be able to add a lot of different functionality, creating, editing, deleting records. However, for now, I'm just going to show you how to render a list of accounts, and then your imagination can fuel the rest of your development should you want to pursue a Lightning component using Aura. So here it is, and if we go ahead and edit the page, it is a drag and drop component that you'll see here under your custom, and I've just named it account list. So let's take a look at the code. So the code, as you can see, consists of 4 different files that I've actually written. Now you get a complete bundle, but these are the only ones that I've had to write to create that list. Going through each one, so I've got 2 components. I've got the list and I've got the actual record component. The record sits within the list component. So we've got a nested component. We've got a JavaScript controller handling the fetching of the records in this SOQL query within this Apex class and method. So we'll go ahead and have a look at the first component, the outer component, which is our list. Now this is a component that has the controller of account list controller, and that's because it's here. That's our Apex class name. We're implementing different flexi page, so available for all types, record home, meaning that you can place the component in different places within your org. And actually, because I was playing around earlier, placing it within a community page, a Lightning community, I've also enabled it for that. You can see a full list on the Salesforce developer forum if you want to find out more places you can implement to place your Lightning component. So I've got an Aura attribute which is holding a list of my accounts, the records I get from this Apex class, from the SOQL query within. I've got a handler which has which relates to this controller here, and it's a doing it function. That means that on load it will do the function within here. And I've got a bit of styling using SLDS just to style the cards. What I'm doing is an Aura iteration over this list that I get. I am going to break it down into account records, and I'm going to pass that account record into my Aura component, placing it on the account record attribute within. For every record within the list, it's going to iterate over. That's why it creates more than one. And it's really simple within this record component. I've got the attribute which I've set over here, which is the single record, and I've just said I want to find the variable which is of account record. So this variable, I want to find the name, and that's why I'm getting the account name shown. The account list controller for this outer component has its doing it function, which is called here. The controller's doing it, and what I'm doing here is I'm passing in the component. I'm getting the action. I'm getting a variable called action, and what that is I'm getting the components controller. It knows which controller, so I'm asking for the get accounts method. And I'm setting the callback because I'm going to enqueue this action, which is the method here, and the response that I get will be placed in the variable which I'm calling records. If it is a success, which we can see here, I've just console logged that just so I can see it, and I am setting the account list, which is a variable here, account list, of a type of account. It's also an array because I'm getting more than one, and I'm setting it to records, which is whatever the return value is. If I don't get a success, I'm going to console log that there was an error, just so that I have a bit of an understanding that it's hit this this line here. And then I'm enqueuing that action. So I'm asking for this action to happen at some point. Let's take a look at the action. So all I'm doing is I've created an Apex class, which I've just named for now as account list controller. We need to use @aura enabled to allow this Apex to be called from a Lightning Aura component. And the method is going to return a list of accounts. I've called it getAccounts. And the list of accounts is selecting ID, the ID in the name, in case I ever wanted to use an ID, from account, the object account. I've limited it to 10, just so that we don't get a huge long list. And then I'm returning that whole list. That is as simple as it gets in terms of creating a list Lightning component. As you can imagine, you'll be able to do a lot more, but they're the groundworks for doing this. You can see more on the Aura Basics and Lightning Aura Trailhead modules, where this concept has come from, and I've adapted it to make it a little less boring and maybe a little bit more fun and understandable, because you can hear me speaking it through. Until next time, thank you.